Hello everyone, this is me Gopan Nair with the second episode about does design thinking work. So this episode, the important topic I want to cover is how can you use design thinking to break organization silos so that you can design the organization of the future and work much more efficiently and effectively to create value and better outcome for the business. Now, when I say this, I think the fundamental thing what I want to also convey is that most of the organization, especially large organizations, have a structure which we inherited from the industrial age or the manufacturing era. And as you rightly know, the kind of work has shifted from a manufacturing type of factory workers to more of knowledge workers who need more, who use more of cognitive ability. So you need to design your organization in such a way that it caters to these knowledge workers. And that is a huge change which is going to happen. According to Professor Ed Hess of Darden School of Business, the technology tsunami is going to come and it is going to change the way we work and live. So, as an organization, are you ready to be the organization of the future? If you are not, I think then there is a piece which design thinking is going to help you to at least start with the basics of breaking some of the silos of your organization so that you can create better outcomes. Now, I want to share this with a story or an example or a personal experience which I had while working at Capital One. And way back in 2015, Capital One has already begun the journey in implementing design thinking across the enterprise. And I was tasked with coming up with a design and requirements for a new application or a workflow system or a case management system for one of the most critical highly regulated processes we had. So when I got this opportunity to come up with the requirements or the designs for that application, I thought this is a great opportunity to see if we can use design thinking to get IT requirements to build this application. Now, the first thing I'm going to quickly say, first thing, if you want to implement design thinking, is to get your leadership or stakeholder buy-in. The way I approach here is something which I want to share here. I did not approach that I want to use design thinking to come up with IT requirements. The way I approach is to the leaders is it is time for us to change the way we do things or solve problems. Instead of being more process oriented and process centric, we need to be customer centric. So the question is, how do we become more customer centric? And we bring in human centered design so that we can be more customer centric. So that is how I sold this to the senior leadership. Now, once the operations leader, obviously my leader was bought in, she was able to influence the IT department leader, saying that, hey, we don't want another application which works smarter in the cloud and which uses machine learning and do a lot of great stuff, but we want to completely re-engineer and redesign the entire process so that we can have a customer-centric approach and we solve the customer's problem rather than building an application. With that, they were able to, now we need more support from other departments. Now we got operations, we got tech. The most important department we need to convince is business intent. The next one is risk, we had data, and finally, the most critical one, legal and compliance. Now this slowly this chain of senior leaders was able to convince their peers, and now we got the entire buy-in from all the stakeholders, senior leaders of all these 6 departments. The next thing is to convince and create awareness among the team members of these teams. That was also done. Now the important thing is for me to go alone, I need a partner. And this is where I reached out to Holly Chase and Young, and she was a great partner, and we worked together to really coming up with the way we can solve this problem of getting the design requirements or the IT requirements using design thinking. The key is the assembling everyone together. I mean, breaking all those silos of people who work in their own in one area and expertise, but bringing them out and bringing everything together for the design session or design jam. Now, one of the most important aspect I want to also highlight is the next thing is the right use case. You need to identify the right use case for you to come up with the best requirements. It should not be too small or it shouldn't be too large. The way I explain is the use case should be just like enough to create a foundation as if you're building a house. It should not be just a foundation for one room, which is too small. Similarly, you are not building a foundation for a strip mall where it is too large and you won't be able to do things. So it is very, very important. You spend a lot of time with the business, with the operations, with products owners to come up with the right use case, because that use case is your foundation where you can build on requirements, or this is where the product discovery piece comes in. The next most important thing is, how do you design the design session? And Holly and myself, we partnered pretty heavily in this space because we were even able to plan minute by minute. Because the key important factor, this is the first time we are bringing all these different personalities who have their own expertise in this kind of a format. Remember, in the design thinking session where you say in the ideation, you go wild and crazy, and the legal team is going to say, no, 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 this is not possible. So instead of, you have to create that awareness, you have to be planned very carefully what you're going to do, how you are going to do, so that everyone feels engaged, empowered, and be part of the solution. Once you see that excitement, I think that is how we were able to sell it. And towards the end, we were able to come up with a very good design requirements, which we would never have thought about if we had operated in silos. Now, the people are so excited. Oh, I was also part of this solution. That creates an excitement. That creates so much energy in them. They want to go back and tell the department, hey, we did something very differently. We were able to come together instead of doing in silos. We were able to come together in one day. We were able to come up with a much better design for an application. Otherwise, as you know, and from my experience, it would have taken months if I have to go department by department to get these approvals. Now we have everyone together, and in Capital One we call it as a pod, where all these different people from various diverse disciplines sit together and operate so that you can really create meaningful, valuable products and services. So the question is, we use as principles of design thinking. We also use 4 principles. One is stakeholder buy-in. Number 2, identifying the partners. Number 3, the right use case. And number 4, designing the session in such a way they feel empowered, excited, and they are able to collaborate. Now, here is where I want to again confirm and reinforce. If you again ask me, does design thinking works? Yes, it really works if you really plan it very well and use it correctly at the right place for the right product, for the right solution, for the right problem, so that you'll be able to get better results. Thank you so much.